Forgot to turn up. Okay, that's fine. Shabbat Shalom. Not that I really needed this, but it's nice to have. We're going to start with a Ma Yafeh Hayom on page 10. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Ma Yafeh Hayom, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat, Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Please turn to page 2 while I switch to the other side. We'll read together on page 3 first. As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we by our lives give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light. Together on page 2. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. I apologize in advance for my singing voice. I just came from rehearsal, and my voice is shot. Now we're going to go to page 6, and now let's go to page 7, and I will read the first part, and the next 2 paragraphs you read. Where has this week vanished? Is it lost forever? Will I ever recover anything from it? The joy of life, the unexpected victory, the realized hope, the task accomplished. Will I ever be able to banish the memory of pain, the sting of defeat, the heaviness of boredom? On this day, let me keep for a while what must drift away. On this day, let me be free of the burdens that must return. On this day, Shabbat, abide.
Help me to withdraw for a while, light of time, and take the retreat of the hours, days from the grass, frantic light.
Keep going.
Learn to pause only for this day, let me find peace on this day. Enter into its wild world this day. On this day, Shabbat.
We will turn to page 28. Those who are able should stand as we open the ark. Yai la 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. Baruch et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Le'olam Va'ed Hamevorach Hamevorach Le'olam Va'ed. Please be seated. Okay, on page 30, we will read together in the middle of the page in English, and then with the and then say the prayer in Hebrew at the end. So together, blessed are you, Adonai our God, ruler of the universe, who speaks the evening into being, skillfully opens the gates, thoughtfully alters the time and changes the seasons, and arranges the stars in their heavenly courses according to plan. You are creator of day and night, rolling light away from darkness and darkness from light, transforming day into night and distinguishing one from the other. Adonai Tzvaot is your name. Ever-living God, may you reign continually over us into eternity. Blessed are you, Adonai, who brings on evening. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We're going to turn to page 32, and we'll do Ahavat Olam. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha Ahavta, Amcha Ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu b'shachvenu, u'kumenu nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratcha, ומצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיים נגה יומם בלילה, נגה יומם בלילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל. Ohev Amo Israel. Page 34. All of you who are able to, please stand as we recite the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto לעולם ועד. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. שמע ישראל, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Please be seated. Together on page 36. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha ve'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uv'lechtecha v'derech uv'shachpecha uv'kumecha uv'shartam leot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot bein einecha uchtavtam al mezuzot beitecha uvisharecha leman tiskeru vasitem et kol mitzvotai vitem kadoshim lelohechem ani Adonai Elohechem asher hotzeti etchem mi eretz mitzrayim leot lachem Elohim Ani Adonai Elohechem, Adonai Elohechem emet. Page 39, and we'll read responsively. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory, the earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again you overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when nations warm and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
We're going to turn to page 40. And we'll do Micha Mocha together. Micha Mocha ba'elim Adonai. Micha Mocha ne'edar ba'kodesh. Nora tehilot oseh Fele Malchutecha ra'u vanecha Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Se'eli anu ve'amru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed. We will now, actually, I'd like to read this together. Page 41. Sing the song of men and women, joined in understanding and respect, the song of God's miracles and earth protected and cherished, a gift for our children and the generations to come. The song of a land once ravished by war, now quiet and content, her soldiers home to leave no more. The song of a world redeemed, the song of peace. Let's go to page 44. And at the top of the page, we'll sing Vishamru. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti leolam, oti leolam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai et ha-shamayim ve'et ha'aretz ve'shamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi'i shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash, shavat vayinafash. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Veshamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. We're going to turn to page 46, where we will do the tefillah as before. All who can, please rise as we open the ark. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agitehi latecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. 48. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol, Vezocher Chasdei Avot ve'imahot, Umevi Gula livnei v'neihem, Leman Shemo be'ahava, Melech Ozer u'Moshia u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Page 50. Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye hakol atah Rav le'Hoshia, Ma'orid hatal, Mechalkel Chaim bechesed, Mechaye hakol berachamim rabim. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, נאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יעלוך הסלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. Please be seated. All right. We're going to go to page 55 in the middle of the page. Disturb us, Adonai. Ruffle us from our complacency. Make us dissatisfied with the peace of ignorance, the quietude which arises from a shunning of the horror, the defeat, the bitterness, and the poverty, physical and spiritual, of humans. Wake us, O God, and shake us from the sweet and sad poignancies rendered by half-forgotten melodies and rubric prayers of yesteryears. Disturb us, O God, and vex us. Let not your Shabbat be a day of torpor and slumber. Let it be a time to be stirred and spurred to action. Together, Baruch Atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat. We're going to page 58. I'm going to read the Hebrew at the top of the page, and then you will read the English, and then at the very bottom we'll read the prayer together. מודים אנחנו לך שאתה הוא אדוני אלוהינו ואלוהי אבותינו ואימותינו לעולם ועד. צור חיינו, מגן ישענו, אתה הוא לדור ודור. נודה לך ונספר תהילתך על חיינו המסורים בידיך, ועל נשמותינו הפקודות לך, ועל ניסיך שבכל יום עמנו, ועל נפלותיך שבטובתך, שבכל עת ערב ובוקר ובצהריים. הטוב כי לא חלו רחמך, והמרחם כי לא תמו חסדיך. מעולם קיווינו לך.
We acknowledge with thanks that you are Adonai, our God, and the God of our ancestors forever. You are the rock of our lives and the shield of our salvation in every generation. Let us thank you and praise you for our lives which are in your hand, for our souls which are in your care, for your miracles that we experience every day, for your wonderful deeds and favors at every time of day and morning. O good one, words never end, O compassion, whose kindness never fails, we forever put our hope in you.
Together at the bottom of the page, Baruch Atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha Ulecha Na'eh Lehodot. Page 60. I hope I can hit the notes. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech Adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech Adon v'chol ha-shalom. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. V'tov ve'enecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael bechol eit uvechol sha'ah Bishlomecha. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Shalom Rav Yisrael Amcha Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Tasim Le'olam. Now, we're going to do the silent prayer, and whatever suits you, makes you, and then together we'll do Oseh Shalom. Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Oseh Shalom bimromav hu ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru Amen. Please turn to page 253. This is quite possibly the most important prayer I think it is, but that's my opinion. We are doing the Misha Berach, and basically, who needs the blessing of good health. We have the Misha Berach list. Lev Dickerman, Teresa Todd, Al Unger, Beth Haberman, Alvin Casson, Glenn Fasnacht, David Rosenberg, Eddie Abraham, Sharon Gould, Evan Gershkovitz, Cherry Stuman, Judy Reback, Alan Ehrlich, Rita Bowles, Ted Worth, Bob Title, David Doctorow, Carolyn Rosenthal, men and women of the U.S. Armed Forces, the hostages who have been held in Gaza for 308 days as of today, the Israelis who continue to be displaced from their homes and continue to live with daily missile and rocket attacks from multiple fronts, victims of the war between Israel and Hamas and Hezbollah on both sides of the conflict. Now, I'm going to extend my hand. I call it my Charlton Heston move. And you add any names that you feel need to be added to this list. Mi sheberak avoteinu mikor habracha leimotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mi sheberach imotenu mikor habracha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. Before I go into the Devar Torah, I want to thank Travis Duvall for handling the Zoom. I want to thank Fred Levine, our congregation president, for being our Bema guest tonight. And yes, I do cheat. There we go. Now, the name of the Parsha of the week is Beha'alotecha. It has several meanings, but La'alot means to ascend, to go up. What is the main thrust here? Moses had an emotional breakdown. He couldn't deal with all the complaining, and there were constant challenges to him. They'd been a year out of Egypt, and rather than rejoicing in their liberation, he discovered that he had people with a slave mentality. That's all they'd ever known. At first, they were worried about having anything to eat, and they were grateful for the manna. Now, the Israelites, Hebrews, whatever you wish to call them, were complaining because they said back in Egypt, they had fish, they had melons, cucumbers, onions, garlic, instead of just this manna. And, the classic, given them an inch, they'll take a mile. All they remembered was the cuisine. They didn't remember the slavery. At this, understandably, God was very angry. He had while Moses had a complete emotional breakdown to the point, and I'm going to read this translation here. Why have you brought this evil on your servant? Why have I failed to find favor in your eyes, that you have placed the burden of this whole people on me? Did I conceive this whole people? Did I give birth to it, that you should say to me, carry it in your lap as a nurse carries a baby? Where can I find meat to give to this whole people when they cry to me, saying, give us meat to eat? I cannot carry this whole people on my own. It is too heavy for me. If this is what you are doing to me, then if I have found favor in your eyes, kill me now and let me not look upon this, my evil. Wow. That's pretty much, that's despair right there. You can't describe it any better than that. Think about it. The greatest Jewish leader of all time felt that he was a failure and felt that he couldn't go on. You know, the feeling of failure doesn't necessarily mean that you failed. It means you haven't accomplished your goal. You haven't succeeded. It doesn't mean you are a failure. But Moses was taking it that way. But this is not the only time in the Bible we see this. King David, my God, why have you forsaken me? From the depths I cry to you. I'm a helpless man abandoned among the dead. You have laid me in the lowest pit, in the dark, in the depths. Okay, what's the lesson here? What the Tanakh is telling us in these stories is quite different. Judaism is not a recipe for blandness or bliss. It's not a guarantee that you will be spared heartache and pain. It's not what the Stoics sought, apatheia, a life undisturbed by passion. Nor is it a path to nirvana, stilling the fires of feeling by extinguishing the self. These things have a spiritual beauty of their own, and their counterparts can be found in the more mystical strands of Judaism, but it's not the world that we're dealing with. Why? Judaism's a faith for those who seek to change the world. It's pretty unusual when you compare it to most other religions. Most religions are about accepting the world the way it is. Judaism says we can do better. This is the world that ought to be. To be a Jew is to seek to make a difference, to change lives for the better, to heal some of the scars of our fractured world. But people don't like change. That's why Moses, David, Elijah, and Jeremiah found life so hard. Typical complaint. If only we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt when we sat by the flesh pots and ate bread to the full, for you have brought us out into this desert to starve this whole assembly to death. Well, this came from Exodus. Well, he understood that they needed food. That's when the manna came. But when they started saying that, okay, we had this, and back in Egypt, that's when it was clear that these people were not ready to cross into the promised land. They were originally supposed to make it in a year instead of the 40 years that it took. Why the 40 years? Because they waited for the generations of those who had been slaves in Egypt to die because they were not ready to deal with freedom. They were still in a slave's mindset. But that after they had gone through the revelation at Mount Sinai, the gift of the Torah, and the construction of the tabernacle, they had become closer to God, but Now they were bored with the manna. They had reached the spiritual heights, but they remained the same ungrateful, small-minded people they had been before, which is why Moses despaired. So God tells him to gather 70 elders to share with him the burdens of leadership. And he also said there'd be plenty of meat. They had an avalanche of quail. That's where the meat came from. Now, after this, Moses seemed to be a changed man. Joshua said there might be a challenge to his leadership. He replies, "Are you jealous on behalf? Would that all the Lord's people were prophets, that the Lord would put his spirit on them." Next chapter, by the way, when his own brother and sister began to criticize him, his sister was afflicted by God with leprosy, and Moses prayed on her behalf, and God relented. So, the essential principle here is what the sages meant when they said a prisoner cannot release himself from prison. It needs someone else to lift you from that depression. That's why Judaism is so insistent on not leaving people alone at times of maximum vulnerability. That's why we have the principles of visiting the sick, comforting mourners, offering hospitality. But the fact that the 70 elders were just there with Moses was part of the cure. The other thing is telling us that surviving despair is a character-transforming experience. It is when your self-esteem is ground to dust that you suddenly realize life is not about you. It's about others and ideals and a sense of mission or vocation. What matters is the cause, not the person. And the last thing I will say, humility is not about thinking less of yourself. It's about thinking of yourself less. Again, I wish you a Shabbat Shalom. And now, Fred Levine is going to read us our announcements. Praise the Lord.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shalom.
Aviv, thank you so much for being the leader this evening. We could not have done it without you, truly. Travis, thank you so much for Zooming. I'd like to wish a warm welcome to Katerina Dulac, did I pronounce that right? Who's joining us from Evansville tonight, the first time she's been here. So please welcome her. Shabbat services will begin tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. When you add the names of your loved ones to the Misha Barak list, their names will be read aloud for 4 weeks. If you'd like them to remain on the list, just let Rabbi know and they will remain for another 4 weeks. Likewise, if you'd like it taken off earlier, please let one of us know. We value keeping our Misha Barak list current. All names that are currently on the list will remain throughout August, unless we hear otherwise. Please support our youth next Friday by attending Shabbat services. This camp-styled Shabbat service, with written remarks from each participant and music by song leader Ben Norton, will be inspiring. More importantly, our youth need to feel the support of our Jewish community. The parents will sponsor the Oneg. Services will begin at 6:30 a.m. Do you know the role of Jews and how they played it in the chocolate industry? Come and learn about Jews and chocolate on Sunday, August 18th at 3 p.m. at the old Anshe Sfard building at the JCC campus. This event is for all ages, and there will be a sweet treat for all. Our High Holy Day kickoff and Selichot service will take place on Saturday, September 28th at 5:30 p.m. We will have a barbecue, campfire, and s'mores. John Soletto graciously is heading up the grilling, so please let John know if you can help with the cooking. Our Selichot service will end with the changing of our Torah covers into their High Holiday whites. Mitzvah Day, to beautify our grounds outside ahead of the High Holidays, will be on Sunday, September 29th from 9 to noon. Light refreshments will be served. If you'd like to join us, there's always a task that you can do, even if you're not good at gardening or landscaping. We will find something, I promise. Our new fiscal year has begun. If you have not yet submitted your voluntary pledge form for the coming year, please do so. A Time Remembered is a Holocaust-related presentation that will be performed by the Louisville Ballet. While the performance will be in February, we are currently able to purchase discounted tickets. For more information about the above events, please see our weekly email blast, Temple Shalom news you can use, or grab a flyer from the lobby. Again, thank you, Aviv, for leading us in music and the services tonight, and thank you, Travis, for the streaming services. Please join us in the auditorium for Kiddush, Motzi, and the Oneg. And once again, Shabbat Shalom. Oh, the lobby, not the auditorium. Thank you, Rich. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Fred. I don't know why, but I haven't yet gotten through a set of the announcements without one screw up. So thank you for bailing me out. Okay. We are now, one thing, normally we do Aleinu at this point. As you can tell, my voice is beginning to go, so that's not going to happen. We're going to go to page 294. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us, those who died at this season in years past, and those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Zichronam livracha, may their memories be for a blessing. Please rise as we recite the Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash mei rabbah, bi'alma divrach urutei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chaye dechol beit Yisrael, Ba'agala uv'izman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevorach leolam l'olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal shmei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlam rabba min shamaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Please be seated. I overlooked to do something. I want to do this, and then I didn't read the names of the people. We had Sigmund Benjamin, father of Amos Benjamin. Ilse Eichhorn, aunt of Margot Klein. Ben Glazer, grandfather of Mark Glazer. Sadie Greenberg. Mary R. Grossman, mother of Tammy Penner. Lottie Mash. Anna Schaffner. Shirley Schaffner. Meyer Mike Unger, father of Alan Unger, grandfather of Robin Unger. Henrietta Venetianer, mother-in-law of Julie Venetianer. As I said, normally we would do a song, but I don't know how much I've got left at this point, so I'm going to wish you all a Shabbat and Shalom, and we're going to meet up in the lobby.